My father sold me for gold, a debt cleared by my life. I walked toward the towering stone gates of Vale Manor, expecting a quick end at his cold hands. The air inside felt like a tomb, stagnant and heavy with the scent of old paper. I waited in the foyer, my pulse hammering against the suffocating, silent darkness. Then, footsteps echoed on the marble. Lord Cassian Vale appeared from the shadows, his presence colder than the winter air outside, his eyes searching mine for any hidden fear. He said nothing. He only gestured toward the hallway, a silent command that chilled my bones. I followed, fully expecting this to be my final journey through these halls. My room was elegant but barren. No locks on the inside, just heavy iron hinges on the door. He didn't lock me in, but the house felt like a prison. The first week passed in total silence. I waited for the fangs, the hunger, the strike, but Cassian seemed to avoid me, hiding in his study for hours on end. He never approached my neck. He never drank from me. In fact, he looked deathly pale whenever we crossed paths, as if the hunger was eating him from within. The mystery deepened when the full moon arrived. He locked himself in the lower cellar, forbidding me to come near the iron door, no matter what noises I heard. What was a vampire king hiding? I couldn't understand why he would keep a blood supply and refuse to feed. It was a contradiction that haunted my every waking hour. I began exploring the restricted wings of the castle, seeking answers hidden in the archives. I found ledgers detailing medical symptoms, not feast schedules labeled for Lord Cassian Vale. The symptoms matched his appearance. He was wasting away. But why would my blood cure him? The idea was madness, yet the evidence was written in his own hand. One evening I confronted him. He was collapsed near the library fireplace, struggling for air, his skin translucent and veins black under his pale, sickly, trembling, cold skin. He looked at me, not with hunger, but with agony. He begged me to leave, but I knew now. My blood wasn't for consumption, it was his only salvation. The contract my father signed was a fraud. Someone had orchestrated this to keep Cassian weak, hoping he would die from the sickness that was consuming his heart. It was his brother Julian. He wanted the throne, and the only way to get it was to see Cassian waste away while I became the convenient scapegoat. I told Cassian about the forged signature. He didn't seem surprised, only weary. He had suspected his brother's treachery for months, but he had no proof to stop him. Julian wasn't just killing the king. He was eliminating the cure. If I died, Cassian would fade into dust, and Julian would inherit a throne without a shadow. We needed a plan. We couldn't let Julian win. I offered my blood freely, hoping it would give Cassian the strength to fight for his life and his throne. The transition was immediate. As he recovered, the house seemed to shift. The dust lifted, the shadows retreated, and the castle felt alive for the first time in ages. Julian grew impatient. He arrived at the manor unannounced, expecting a corpse, only to find his brother standing tall, with me at his side, safe and unharmed. He demanded to know why I still lived. His voice was a venomous hiss, his mask of loyalty slipping to reveal the jagged, desperate ambition he had hidden so well. Cassian didn't respond with anger. He responded with the truth. He revealed the signed ledger of the forgery, exposing Julian's treachery to the empty, silent, listening castle walls. Julian tried to flee, but the castle was locked. The servants, loyal to their king, had already blocked every exit, ensuring he would face justice for his dark, calculated crimes. My father's debt was meant to be my end, but it became my salvation. I wasn't just a victim. I was the king's cure, his partner, and his true queen. Life at the manor became a sanctuary. We spent our days unraveling the lies Julian had left behind, and our nights strengthening the bonds he once tried to break. I learned the history of the Vale bloodline, the ancient sickness, and the heavy price of power. It wasn't just about mortality. It was about the weight of ruling. Julian's trial was swift. He was stripped of his titles and sent into exile, a lonely end for a man who craved a throne he could never truly earn. The manor breathed again. We cleared the dark, haunting relics of my arrival and replaced them with life, growth, and the steady, quiet promise of a brighter, shared future. But the past is never truly buried. I kept the forged contract, a reminder of the fragility of our peace and the darkness that once held my life hostage. Cassian was strong now, the wasting sickness gone. But the fear remained in the quiet moments, a lingering shadow that reminded us of the power we both held. I returned to my father's house just once, not as a victim, but as the woman who had defied fate. He didn't recognize me. I had changed so much. I didn't seek apology. I simply left a pouch of gold, the debt finally, truly, and completely repaid. I walked away into the forest, leaving my old life behind. The forest whispered secrets of the past, but I didn't listen. My future was back at the manor, with a king who had once been my greatest, most terrifying fear. Cassian was waiting in the gardens. The moonlight silvered the leaves, casting a magical, ethereal glow over the landscape as he greeted me with a soft, genuine, welcoming smile. We danced, a slow and silent motion on the terrace, the moonlight our only witness. It was a stark contrast to the cold, dark, and lonely fear of my arrival. The manor was no longer a cage. It was a testament to our survival. Every stone, every hall, and every room spoke of the strength we had built together. Even the cellar, once a place of terror, was now just a room. We cleared the iron doors and turned it into a sanctuary for the records of our future. The kingdom began to change too. Under Cassian's renewed rule, the people prospered. The fear that had gripped the land for so long finally began to fade away completely. I worked beside him, managing the correspondence and keeping his legacy secure. My identity was no longer defined by my past. It was forged in the heat of our truth. We were not just survivors, we were architects of a new era. The vampire king and the woman who saved him. An unlikely union that became the kingdom's greatest strength. Sometimes I remember the night I arrived. The cold stone, the fear, the uncertainty. It feels like a lifetime ago, a dream I had once, now long buried. Cassian never forgot what I did for him. He honored me in ways that made the old courtiers whisper, but he didn't care. He knew the truth of my sacrifice. My father eventually disappeared from my mind. He was just a ghost now, a character in a story that had ended before the true journey had even truly begun. Julian remained in exile, a cautionary tale whispered in the taverns. He had sought to destroy the cure, and instead, he had destroyed his own chance at redemption forever. Our lives became intertwined with the history of the castle itself. We were the new foundation, building something that would outlast the stones and the shadows of our ancestors. We grew closer every day, our bond forged not just by blood, but by the shared weight of survival, leadership, and the simple, quiet moments that define a life. Sometimes I'd look at the iron hinges of my door. Still there, a remnant of a time that felt like a nightmare. It served to ground my new happiness. We were not perfect, but we were real. We struggled with the demands of the throne, the weight of the past, and the future we were trying to build. My role was to be his anchor. He had been alone for so long, the loneliness carved into his heart, but I wouldn't let him drift away ever again. I realized that the contract was a beginning, not an end. It was the catalyst that brought two broken people together to heal each other and the kingdom. The shadows in the manor became just decorations, not threats. We had reclaimed the space, turning a tomb of ghosts into a house of life and shared joy. We hosted small gatherings for the people of the kingdom, slowly building a community that understood their king was not a monster, but a protector and a leader. The kingdom thrived because we were not afraid to show our flaws. Our transparency created a level of trust that no other monarch had ever managed to achieve. My life had turned into a story I never would have imagined. A blood debt, a vampire lord, a traitorous brother, and the strength to defy it all. We built a kingdom that worked for everyone, not just for the elite. We knew what it was like to suffer, and that knowledge was our best policy. The manor stood strong against the elements, a home that had seen everything: darkness, betrayal, and eventually the glorious light of redemption and deep, profound, lasting true love. We were content, but we never stopped looking for ways to grow. There was always a book to read, a garden to tend, or a rule to improve. Our legacy was not written in stone, but in the lives we touched every single day. We were the king and queen who chose love over power's hunger. In the end, our story proves that even the deepest darkness can be overcome by the light of a single, honest heart that refuses to give up on life. Whatever debt you think you owe, remember that your future is yours to define. Stand tall, trust yourself, and keep fighting for the love you truly deserve. If you believe that every story deserves a second chance, leave a comment below. What would you do if your debt turned out to be your greatest path forward?
If you are enjoying our channel, please like and subscribe. Have a blessed day.